Hi there, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Patrice, and today, baby, do I have some juicy Reddit stories for you, all right? So if you're interested in that, keep on watching, all right? So what we're going to do for the new year, we're going to start off each video with a positive quote, okay? Today's positive quote says, small steps every day add up to big results, all right? So don't think you have to do everything one time, right? Jamaicans would say one coke, a full basket. Yes. So just small changes each day will add up to big results. All right. So let us jump into our first story. This one comes from True Off My Chest. And it says, I helped a lady at the gym gain confidence, and it resulted in her getting a divorce. Oh my. All right. So over the past few months, I have been doing a specific Pilates class 3 times a week. In this class, I met a lady who first showed up real timid, kind of shy, and dressed in lots of layers, and almost tried to purposefully stay fully covered. Nothing wrong with this, but in a high-intensity class, that is tough. Over time, I'd gradually say hi to her, worked out side by side, and as the weeks went on, I began to learn more about her. Turns out she was a married woman with 3 kids, and her husband was a stay-at-home gamer. He brought in no income and apparently always told her that her clothes were getting tight and that she should consider hitting the gym more often. And I never tried to dig into it, but she vented about it all the time. As time went on, she began to come into class with a smile on her face. She started dressing confidently, and you could just tell that she was starting to find herself again, and it was so nice to see. Well, last week, she came in and we did class, and all that went well. And afterwards she said, hey, so I did something crazy. And when I asked her what she did, she said, I finally decided to leave him. And I wanted to thank you for helping me find myself again and being kind to me. It helped me learn my worth and gave me the courage to stand up for myself and take care of me for a change. And I honestly didn't realize I made such of an impact, which on one side is beautiful. On the other hand, I feel like I caused divorce. But at the same time, it's more of her husband that caused divorce. I just like to think I help someone understand their true worth. Aw, girl. We love a girl's girl, okay? Because sometimes when you go to these classes, I am someone who does spin, which I need to do more often because, listen, 2025 came with a lot of weight gain, okay? But as someone who will go to like spin classes, you sometimes people don't even say hi to you. You just find your bike, you adjust it to your height and stuff, and you go on about your day. So it's nice. It's really nice for someone to just, say hi, make small talk. Sometimes, especially I know for Pilates class, it can be a little intimidating. Okay? So just being nice to someone, I like that. She got her confidence back and she left the little drunk man. Yeah, I like that. Good for her. Go, girl. 2026 is that year, the year of not settling anymore. It's the year of, not that you need a new year to start that, but some people start new things, new year. It's the whole thing, but right? But that is nice. I like that. And OP, listen, you didn't cause a divorce, okay? You just help her to find her inner strength, her inner shine, her little sunshine, and now she's shining bright like a diamond. Yeah, girl, come true, Riri. All right, let us see what the comments had to say. Sometimes a person just needs a bit of positivity and faith in humanity and themselves to find the courage to do what they're afraid of. Somebody else says, preach. Someone else says, you missed 100% of the shots you don't take. Sometimes we don't know the effects we have on fellow humans until we realize they just needed that confidence to finally take the shot. Finally, somebody else says, I think you helped her build the confidence to finally step up for herself. She stayed in the situation for years because she didn't know any different and felt stuck. You didn't cause anything. You just helped her to realize that there's more out there and that there are people who see her worth and remind her she deserves a life that actually feels good. I like that. I really like that. This year is the year of the girls, okay? We're taking care of ourselves, all right? On the TikTok, on the clock app, they're like, oh, we're decentralizing men. It's not my favorite terminology, but I'm just saying. We're prioritizing ourselves as women, as mothers, as wives, because even in a marriage, you can still be a single married person. I'm just saying, people, it can happen, all right? So, 2026, the year of the woman, okay? All right? Clock it. All right, so the next story comes from r/AITAH. This one says, am I the a-hole for getting mad at my husband about his dead ex-girlfriend? Girl, I'm side-eyeing you. I'm not judging you just yet, but let us see, all right? So, my husband, 29 male, and I, 27 female, have been together for 4 years now and have been married for the last 6 months. Prior to us meeting, my husband had an ex-girlfriend from when he was younger who he was with for 10 years. I've known about her since we first started dating and had no issues, as I understood that they were together for a long time and she was his first love. Well, she had left him out of the blue, stating that she simply did not love him anymore. He was heartbroken over the situation, and then later on, she passed away unexpectedly. Aww. Recently, he was intoxicated and we got into an argument unrelated to his ex-girlfriend. Somehow, the argument turned into him talking about their relationship. He emphasized that they were together for 10 years and that he still, to this day, doesn't understand why she didn't love him anymore. That he doesn't really talk about her to me because it doesn't matter, but that he still has nightmares about his heartbreak. Then he says something along the lines of, what can you do when the love of your life says she doesn't love you like that anymore? Nothing. You can't do nothing. Just go find the next best thing. I'm going to stop right there. So, OP, you're telling me that this man is sitting here, intoxicated are not, because they said drunk something are sober thoughts, or drunk speech or something is sober thought. Whatever the saying goes, all right? This man is telling you that he doesn't really talk to you about it, but, girl, we're talking about it now. What do you do when the love of your life said, I don't love you anymore? Eh? You just have to do nothing. You cannot do anything. You just have to go find the next best thing. So this man in front of your face telling you that you are the next best thing, okay? You are second to dead ex-girlfriend. That is what you're telling me? You know what? Let me read to see what you did next. Let me just say. All right. She says, it stung when he said that because he made it seem like I was just someone he married because he couldn't marry her or be with her. Since then, I haven't talked to him as I feel hurt that even after being married, he called another woman the love of his life. I just don't know if I'm being immature and having petty feelings, but am I the a-hole for giving him the silent treatment because of his past and his heartbreak about his ex-girlfriend, especially since she is no longer alive? Girl, you are not the a-hole, okay? And I don't think the silent treatment is going to work. You need to speak to this man. Silent treatment is not going to work for this situation. In my humble opinion, I am nobody's therapist or anything like that. I am just a woman and that is my qualification, okay? Qualification, woman. That's all I got, okay? And I've been a woman now for 40 years. So I think I'm very qualified on this one, okay? The silent treatment is not it. This one needs possible therapy, okay? But at the least you need to communicate. Tell him that how you feel because this hurts your feeling. Like, girl, I could not marry ex-girlfriend, so I just settled for you, okay? Nobody wants to hear that. Not a man, not a woman. Nobody wants to hear that, okay? So he needs to know that. He needs to know if he needs to talk about his ex-girlfriend, he needs to find therapy. You are not the person to do that with, especially if you're going to throw jabs like that, okay? It doesn't sit well with my spirit, okay? No, because for me, somebody says something like that to me, Jesus is still working on me deep on the inside, just deep, okay? I need my name to be in the book of life and stay in there. That is what Pastor preached this past weekend. And I want my name in the book of life. But if something like this should happen, there goes my name out of the book of life because no, what you mean? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, OP. Let me see what other people have to say. Let me just say. Someone says, not the a-hole. That's a really difficult thing to hear. I think you need to sit down and talk to him about it. Depending on what happens in that conversation, you might have some decisions to make for yourself. You deserve better than to be considered second prize by your husband. Amen. Someone else says, not the a-hole, but homie needs a therapist. Probably has some unresolved feelings that he never let go of since she died. All right. Someone else said, he's measuring a real OP against a dream of someone who left him. That's not a fight anyone would win because she's not real until he does see a therapist and realizes that's a recipe for nothing but misery. OP isn't going to be able to fix anything. I agree. I agree, OP. Again, therapy for the dead ex-girlfriend, but counseling and probably marriage therapy for how y'all move forward with this one. But yeah. Okay, so this next story comes from r/am I the jerk. It says, am I the jerk for refusing to remove the lock I put on my son's door after my wife's nephew kept taking his stuff? My wife's sister lost her apartment a while back and moved in with us along with her son, who is 17. My son is 15. They never really hung out before, but I figured they get along fine sharing the house. The problem started almost immediately. Her nephew has no concept of boundaries. He walks into my son's room whenever he wants and takes things. Video games, headphones, chargers, even money once. My son complained multiple times and I talked to the kid about this, but nothing changed. My wife and her sister kept brushing it off, saying they're boys and this is just what they do. They'll figure it out. I disagreed. The final straw was when my son saved up for weeks to buy a limited edition controller he really wanted. It wasn't cheap. A few days after he got it, the nephew took it without asking and broke it. Said it slipped. Didn't even apologize properly. My son was crushed. I went and I got a lock for his door. When my wife's sister and her son saw it, they were offended. She said I was treating her son like a criminal, that borrowing stuff between boys living together is normal, that my son shouldn't have expensive things if he can't share. She even said I was spoiling him and creating bad habits. My wife took her side, said I embarrassed her family by putting a lock on the door and demanded I take it off. I told her the lock stays until her sister and nephew are out of our house. She got upset and said I was threatening to kick them out. I reminded her that I was the one who agreed to let them stay in the first place when no one else in her family would. Her own parents said no. Her brother said no. I said yes, and now I'm being treated like the bad guy for protecting my son's space. I just want my kid to feel safe in his own room. Am I the jerk? Okay, so Opie, you're definitely not the jerk. No. Ah. There's something to be said when someone gets evicted, right? From somewhere. No, there are different circumstances. Life throws at you. But when somebody gets evicted from somewhere, you have to first find out why they got evicted, okay? Was this negligence on their part that they didn't budget well? Did they do something to get evicted? Because I'm only saying that because when you take this person in, you have to understand who you're taking into your house, okay? Now, this is a sister-in-law, so you might have known her behavior before or, whatever the case may be. Now, when people come into your house, you also need to set hard boundaries, okay? Very, very hard ones. And do not let them cross it. Listen to me. You give them an inch, then take a mile, a yard. They take up everything. So here's the thing. Your wife needs to stand with you. Both of you are married. This is your house and her house too. And how dare they talk about if you don't want, you shouldn't buy expensive things for your kids so that they don't share or something like that? What you mean? So you're supposed to deprive your child just because you're here temporarily? My child is not supposed to experience childhood that he's meant to experience and how he's meant to experience it because you are here temporarily. No. OP, please ask her when she's leaving and if she can hurry up how the apartment hunting going. Because you can tell that her and her son are menaces because the parents didn't want to take them in. The brother didn't want to take them in. Nobody did not want to take them in. Okay? Nobody. Not even them own mother and father. And you were so nice and this is what you have to deal with. Do not take the lock off, okay? If that's going to protect your son, do not take the lock off. Because auntie know how our thieving son is. The auntie know that her child likes to take people things. And the grandparents know and the brother know. They all know that he's a little five-finger jack, okay? So no, you're not the a-hole. Let's see what others say. You opened your home when no one else would, and now you're the villain for putting a lock on a door after repeated boundary violations. That's wild. Someone else says, I would have gone. Either the kid gets to keep the lock without getting ish for it, or you and your sister and her kid cannot move out. Someone else says the fact that your wife sided with them is the bigger problem, to be honest. Your kid comes first. Your house, your rules. Don't like the lock, then don't live there. Agreed. Totally agree with that one. So this next story comes from the subreddit r/am I the a-hole. Yeah, yep, yep. So, am I the a-hole for telling my kids I don't care that my girlfriend only likes me for my money? Okay. My wife passed away when our kids were 9 and 11. I spent the next 10 years as a single parent. I was only 39 when Lydia died. She was my world, and I couldn't think of another woman. I went to grief counseling alone and with my kids. It definitely helped, but it didn't make me want another woman. My youngest is now in her last year of university. She went away to school, so I was alone after she left. I started going out to social events and meeting women. It was fine. My friends tried setting me up, nothing clicked. I met some beautiful, kind, intelligent, interesting women. None of them were Lydia, and that's what I wanted. After about a year, I met Diana. She was 28, 22 years younger than me. She works at a bookstore. She reads more than just the smutty fantasy books it seemed like everyone are into these days. She doesn't have any tattoos. They just aren't my thing, and please don't think I judge you if you have any. I won't go into everything she is except to say she is a single mom with a young son. I don't really get the tattoo reference, but cool. We started dating after about 6 months of us meeting. I met her son 3 months after that. After she figured out I wasn't trying to get laid, my kids met her when they came home for Thanksgiving. Both of them worked all through university, so they didn't come home for summer. My kids seemed to like her and saw that she made me happy. They were nice to her son and played video games with him. When he went to bed, they stayed up talking to us. I thought everything went well. It's been a couple of years now, and Diana and I are living together. No plans to get married yet, but I want it. My son is married now, and like I said, his sister is just about done with university. My son and daughter talked to me over the holidays. They said that they think Diana is only with me for my money. I'm not rich. I have a paid off house and a decent pension. I have money in the bank for luxuries, but I still work. Diana still works. I used up the life insurance from my wife, paying for my kids' education, and also for subsidizing our lives for the years right after Lydia passed away. I worked less and was there more for my kids. I told my kids that I didn't care if she only wanted me for my money. I told them that I had sacrificed lots for them after their mom died and that I found someone who made me happy like their mom used to. I said if they had a problem with her, then they should talk to her. They seemed to take it as a rebuke and said that they thought she was just some fun I was having before meeting someone my age. I said I was done with the conversation and would not revisit it. I did talk to Diana about it, and she was a little hurt because she had never felt those feelings from them. She asked me how I felt about it and said she wasn't getting much out of the deal. I said our relationship wasn't me robbing the cradle, it was her robbing the grave. That's funny. She laughed at that and we went to bed. My kids both apologized to me about it in the weeks since and said I had the right to be happy, but that it was weird being with someone who was only 6 years older than my son. I reiterated that the subject was closed, but thanked them for their apologies. I think I may have ruffled their feathers by saying that I don't care if she is only with me for the money. Are you the a-hole? No. But the things you said are kind of a-holy, if that makes sense. Your wife passed away when they were young. You did the single dad thing. You raised them. You made sure you were there most of the time. You even worked less. You sacrificed a lot for them. They got a free ride through school. You paid for their education, so they're set. Again, one of them now is married, has his family, and then the other is finished with university. But as you can understand, like, your kids are looking out for you. Someone is 22 years younger than you. I would expect that conversation to happen. I don't know how you did not expect that conversation to happen. And they're going to be concerned about you. You don't want somebody coming in and using your father, especially if you're at a certain age where if she comes and takes half of everything, then you have to start over, or you're more dependent on them. Like, I can understand it. Does she give gold digger vibes? Probably not. And she probably does love you. But as statistics would have it. Okay, there's some good ones out there that are not in it for the money, right? But most of the time, someone that young dating someone that much older, it's for stability. Yes, you get treated nice and all the things, but you're financially stable. She works at a bookstore, you said. I don't know how much they're paying people that work at bookstores, okay? Maybe she's the manager or something like that, but she works at a bookstore. I don't know how much she's making, and she also has a son, so she's a single mother. You are stable. You're what stability looks like. She can depend on you and all the good things. Now, if you know that that is your role and you are okay with that role, that is fine. That to me is fine. But the way in which you're reacting to your kids, I don't know, OP. You have to take that like, oh, I thank them for their apology, but get a no, sit down with your kids and talk. You should probably talk with all of you, Diana, and the kids, and lay everything out and all the things. That's what I think. But let's see what the comments got to say. All right. Top comments. I don't really understand your reaction. You provide convincing reasons to suggest she is not with you for your money. Why didn't you lay that out for your kids? Kind of feels like both throwing your girlfriend under the bus and damaging your kids' relationship with her by validating your concerns. For what? Of course, your girlfriend is hurt. She got accused of being a gold digger by your own children, and you didn't defend her at all. I'm baffled by why you wouldn't tell your kids that there's no imbalance between you. You both still work and you make each other happy. That's why you're with her, and you feel assured in the fact that that's why she's with you. If I were her, I'd start to wonder if that's what you really thought of me. You are the a-hole. Okay. Somebody else has a different view. Somebody else says, and also saying, I don't care if she's with me for the money. Probably made them feel like you don't care about yourself or about their concerns. Probably that girl manipulated you to lose yourself. Another good thought. All right, someone else says, yeah, the age gap is big and kids' concerns are valid. I kind of wonder if OP wanted a much younger wife as a weird response / insurance against ever being a widower again. Huh. That's a good thought, but I don't think so because he did say he went out on several dates. People tried to set him up on things like that and he didn't click with anybody. And then he met her and they clicked. So I don't know. But that could be a thing too, though. You're right. Because with a younger person, you are going to expect to go before that person. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, comments. I see what you're saying. Okay. Somebody else says, I mean, considering his wife died when she was still young, I think he knows the age isn't a barrier to death. They obviously just clicked. Age gaps can often be a big red flag, but it's not automatically one. Clock it. That's a good response. That is a good response. I like these. But yeah, OP, I don't think you're the a-hole, but your response was kind of weird. That's all I got for that one. All right, so this next story comes from r/marriage. Now, I must say this is my favorite subreddit so far of Reddit, all right? And this one says, husband bought me a book on how to clean house for Christmas. Okay. Let's see what this one's saying. Am I the crazy one? We, 29 female, male 37, had our first baby last year, a month before Christmas, so we didn't celebrate then. No gifts or anything. I was totally fine with it. I had the greatest gift right there in my arms. Aww. Fast forward to this year. He went all out on everybody but me, it feels like. Our son was showered with the most amazing gifts. Santa did a great job at also bringing my husband just what he wanted. A new computer, monitor, 3D printer, inversion table, a few other miscellaneous things. I was happy for him because just 3 years ago, he moved us out of the city for a 6-figure job and we live comfortably in the countryside now. Good for you, girl. I opened my gifts and one of the first ones was a book titled The Sidetracked Home Executive, How to Go from Pigpen to Paradise, or some title like that. The second book was called Hard is Not the Same Thing as Bad, a book on how mothering is hard and you have to rely on God. I get the messaging here, but after having about 50 mental breakdowns this year because I've been completely isolated with no family, help, or visitors, taking care of the baby by myself because he explicitly never allowed me to have a break, use the church nursery, have a babysitter, or any visitors to help. I kind of expected some warm, fuzzy, girly gifts. Granted, those books were a few of the ones on my Amazon, but for duck's sake, we have gotten me a gardening book. What else did I need? A knife set, a cutting board, a soap mold, a sock, and socks. So basically, everything I need to do more chores. I sat there with a fake glowing smile on my face because, of course, I could have gotten nothing. And honestly, rather would have. Why did he think that was a good idea? I can't stop thinking about it, and it's been 2 weeks. I feel so invisible, disregarded, disposable, even. I feel like nothing. I feel like a slave, a maid, an afterthought. He always gets what he wants, and I'm left asking for permission to go and get my ducking nails done. I haven't slept in days. I'm so angry. How do I bring this up to him without having a straight up explosive argument? In listen to me. Sometimes an explosive argument is what is needed. Listen to me. Everything cannot be nice and calm and demure. No. Everything cannot be that, okay? While we want it to be nice and calm, sometimes it is not that. Because here, OP, I think that this man is emotionally abusing you, in my opinion. And abuse might be like a very strong word, but I can't think of anything other than that. Because you said he took you out of the city. Yeah, so just 3 years ago, he moved us out of the city with a six-figure job, and we live comfortably in the countryside now, right? That's what you said. So I think that was the lure to get you out of the six-figure job. You live good countryside, big house, all the things. But then you did say you have no family, you have nobody, and this man wants you to not use the nursery at the church. You don't get any help, nothing at all. He just wants you to do that. You are wife and mother, and that's all you do 24/7, 48, whatever. Like, you don't have another life. That right there, and then on top of it, you're burnt out, you're stressed out. This man is like, hey, these books right here will help you to be better at that, okay? Because you're slacking. As a stay-at-home mom, I don't know what you're doing here all day, because all of these things need to be done, and you're not doing them. Like, that kind of isolation, to me. And then if you're not working, you have to ask him for everything. You have to ask him for money and time to go do the nails. And you might have to bring the baby if you want to go do the nails, because he doesn't sound like he does any of the babysitting. He doesn't do any of the whole stuff. It's just you there with a man who makes six figures and treating you like crap, to the point you're on Reddit here cussing. Girl, you don't even sound like you somebody that cuss, but you're so mad that you're on here cussing. All right, let's see what people have to say. The fact that you're isolated, never get a break, and have to ask permission to get your nails done is worrying. He sounds controlling. Ooh, controlling is the word I was probably looking for instead of the abusive word. The controlling is the word. Why can't the kid go to the nursery for the odd day? Why is he not letting you have time to yourself? Why do you feel you can't just discuss this with him? Somebody else says, agreed. Being this isolated with no real breaks isn't sustainable, and it's reasonable to question why basic support feels so off limit. Because OP did say, okay, she had about 50 mental breakdowns. 50, and this man still. It doesn't sound like, your parents, like, sometimes, when you have a baby, your mom would come and stay, have other family members come and help you stay. It doesn't sound like the husband is allowing any of this. It's just the wife. It is very, very concerning. Listen. Whew. Let's see what somebody else has to say. This is not about your Christmas gifts. He found a younger wife to have his kids and take to church. He moved you out to the country, isolated you, and won't allow you any downtime. He is going to continue to take things away slowly until you have nothing left. You need to get a job and get out of this situation. Yes. Somebody else says, I'm sorry, but your husband only sees you as a maid and a mother, and apparently doesn't think you're doing a very good job of it either. Is it possible for you to go stay with someone else for some time? You deserve a break. OP actually responded and says, doesn't think you're doing a good job either. That's the other part of it. Like a reminder not only to clean the house, but that what I'm doing is not good enough. Granted, I haven't been keeping the house drill sergeant level clean the past 12 months because I am pregnant again. Yay. Oh, Jesus. And have been so sick I can't keep up. His response was to insinuate that he had to step in and recognize everything and start cooking all the food, blah, blah, blah. When in reality, all I needed was a little grace and patience because, I was busy vomiting all the time. His standards are chronically at 100% when we need to be living in the reality that we have kids now and nothing will be perfect. Somebody else says, "Oh dear, you're pregnant again?" This is not going to help your situation. You should be able to have a calm discussion with him, and he should be more understanding. I would really try to leave and stay with family for a while if possible. You shouldn't be trapped there. OP responded, "Thank you. I'm trying to plan a girls' mom day trip soon, but it's tough with littles." Man. Somebody else said, "Don't hold anything in. Explode on him and stop allowing him to be controlling." OP says, "I've exploded on him 100 times. Exploding doesn't work anymore." All right, last one. Someone says, "Then stop. Just stop. Do nothing extra. Obviously, you can't live in filth, but don't do anything extra for him. Don't do his laundry. Don't make his dinner. Keep the house clean. I'm guessing he would get other people involved if you didn't. CPS, family, who knows? But take care of you and the baby, not him. When he gets home from work, hand baby over and tell him you're going out. Start taking time for you. When he questions why things have changed, you can say, I've tried talking to you. I've tried shouting. The gifts I got for Christmas were a reflection of how much you value me. I am done feeling invisible and disregarded. I am not your maid, and I'm done being treated like one. I am a person. I am isolated here with no family, no friends, and no help. I will not be taken advantage of any longer. If you want to sit down and have a calm discussion, I'm ready. If not, the cookbooks are over there. Have at it." Then OP said, "Thanks, friend. I feel like this is a reasonable way to approach. Yesterday, I just up and left him at home alone after serving our son lunch. I'm starting to just take my time without asking. Instead of fighting, I say nothing. It tends to be easier." Go, girl. Get it, OP? Yeah. You'll find it. You'll find your way, OP, because you're only 29 and he's 37. He has lived a little bit more than you. So, girl, you'll figure it out. Don't let this man stress you out. Again, 2026, you're off the woman. You're off the woman. Yeah. All right, so this next story comes from r/Ask Men Advice. I ain't never been in this subreddit. I'm going to join this one. I am going to join this one right here. So, because I know this one is about to be filled with some nonsense. Okay, let us read. What are you supposed to do when you meet a girl, but you're in a relationship? Let me tell you what you're supposed to do. Look the other way and walk. Go right home to your said girlfriend. Go right home to your girlfriend. Tell her you love her and you build on that relationship. That is what you do. Yeah. All right. So this one says, I'm in a relationship currently with my girlfriend of 2.5 years. Things are going good. I do love her, but we have different personalities which cause some conflict. Neither of us are perfect and are constantly working on each other, which is how it should be, I guess. I know she's in love with me and does a lot for me, which is great. I also love her and do a lot for her. I recently joined a volunteering group and I met this girl who's amazing. She's very attractive and we somehow just clicked. I genuinely didn't want to fall for anyone. I didn't even think I could, but we have chemistry from the moment we met. It was wild. I had never clicked with a woman like that. We ended up staying together throughout the whole event, got lunch together, then got drinks, and then she invited me over to chill and have dinner. I didn't even realize we spent 5 hours together. I told her, hey, I don't mean to give you the wrong idea, but I have a girlfriend. I don't think I should come over. She was bummed and said, damn, I haven't gotten along this well with anyone. I said, yeah, sorry. I do want to keep in touch though. Can we just be friends? She agreed and we took each other's numbers. I came back to the apartment, had dinner with my girlfriend, and currently in bed, but I can't shake this feeling. I feel terrible and guilty as I've been thinking about her the whole day. I can't seem to get her out of my mind. My girlfriend is awesome, but she's not even in my mind for some reason. I don't know what to do. Break up with your girlfriend. Let this amazing young lady go and find someone who is going to love her and treat her nice, because you're going to eventually end up cheating with this girl. The fact that you have this strong chemistry as you describe it with her, and you took her number, it's not going to end there. You're not just going to be friends. No, you're not going to just text her, well, hey buddy, what's going on? That is not what you're going to say. You're not going to hit up Jessica and be like, yo girl, what did you eat for dinner today? That's not what that is, okay? Because that's not how it started. And you said you've never clicked with anyone like that before. But I just want to point something out, right? Because you said you're in an amazing relationship. You love your girl, she loves you, you do amazing things for each other. However, it says, I do love her, but we have different personalities, which cause some conflict. The fact that you're pointing that's out, okay? I don't think that was ever like some problem or something that came up. I don't think that was ever an issue until you was writing this post. You want to give us some little hint that, hey, we're not perfect for each other like me and this new chick, because you know our personalities are so different. Didn't you know that your personalities was different before you met this new girl? 2.5 years and you didn't know the personality was different, but because you met this new shiny girl, nice and sparkling, amazing, because you meet her one day and oh my god, she's amazing. You don't know this personality. You've been here with your girl for 2.5 years and you've been making it work, but this girl, 5 hours together, and oh my god, she done changed my life. Be so for real. Let your girlfriend go and go be with your new girl, because you're going to end up cheating if you keep this number and try to be friends. But let's see what the comments have to say. It was literally 5 hours with her. You know nothing about her. She could be an abusive menace. If you aren't happy with a girlfriend, then break up. See, that is what I am saying. That is what I am saying. Okay? Somebody else says, right. Post is so ridiculous. OMG, I met the perfect girl. I know we are right for each other. She has an amazing personality. Met said girl 5 hours ago. Somebody else says, grass is greener and all that. Grass is greener where you water it. Also, grass is greener where before you realize every grass needs mowing, seeding, and raking. For real. OP, there's something wrong with you, alright? But I don't know what it is. We need to calm your little tail down. And if you want to make it work with your girlfriend, make it work with your girl. Because see, she even come home and she cook dinner. Delete said girl number. Delete it. She will go from your mind in about 2 days. Delete said girl number, because this is not going to end well. It shall not. Alright, so this next story comes from r/askmenadvice. How can I tell if he is actually into me or is just immature? So, I've been casually seeing this very attractive guy on and off for about a year. He is the one that randomly approached me and asked me out, and I always found that very weird because I don't think I'm attractive. Like, I'm a solid 5 or 6 out of 10, but he's extremely good looking. He's told me I'm beautiful several times, but I don't believe it because I really don't think I am. We're both young, 20 and 21, and he has always been very low effort and nonchalant. And other than the first date, we've never went out and have just hooked up. I'm fine with casual, but I'm afraid that the reason he wants to be casual is because he knows I'm not that attractive, and so I'm not worth the effort. I've gotten mad at him several times about last minute plans, although in his defense, last minute plans are the norm in his culture, and he has tried to change a few times and has made plans, and even blocked him, and he's come back every time. IDK why he chases me, but then when he has me, he is still very low effort. He's never paid for me when we go out or actually included me in any of his plans. I just can't help but think that the reason he doesn't put in much effort is not because he's young and immature. It's because he doesn't feel the need to, because I'm not that attractive. And if he had more attractive girlfriend, he would put in a lot more effort. Do men put a more effort or try harder for a woman who they consider very beautiful, or does it not matter? IDK, what you guys think? Girl, you need to leave this man alone and find yourself some confidence. Girl, you ain't got none. I know you're 20. I get it. A lot of us is not very confident as a 20-year-old. You open this by saying he's a very attractive guy and I am a 5 or a 6. Okay? You said the man told you that you're beautiful, but you think he's just saying that. Girl, every O of them stick a bush. Okay? There's somebody for everybody. Alright? But your confidence is trash, girl. Your confidence is negative, in the negatives. I need you to not be with anybody and build on your confidence, okay? You are not confident, so this man is not confident in you either. The way you're rating yourself, I don't know if it's how you carry yourself or what it is, but the man realized that he doesn't have to put effort. Like, I'm attractive, she knows I'm attractive, she's gonna chase me, she's gonna want me, even when I come around, even when you're just going to want him regardless, and he knows he doesn't have to put effort in. He knows he doesn't have to put, because you just said you are okay with casual. Girl, Girl, stand up. Stop. Young people, y'all need to find Jesus. Now, I know a lot of people is like, oh, I'm atheist, I don't believe in this, but you need to believe in something, okay? Because this is no way for a 20-year-old, like, young woman should be carrying herself, man. You need confidence, man. Confidence. Walk in your purpose, girly. Find what your purpose is. And don't have no little boys, no men out here. No, okay? This man call you with last minute plans. He doesn't even pay. So you're paying to be with this man. Okay? You all are out and you're paying for your own food, your own things. So you're just paying for his company. For what? For what? You know what? Let me see what the comments have to say. Let me see. But girly pop, it's not immature. You all right, let me see. This one says he's just using you for casual sex. If that's fine with you, then just go with it. If not, then move on. Before I was married, I had several women who had casual sex with because they were not sufficiently high value to be long term or wife material. Sometimes it was looks, sometimes it was them not having enough sophistication, other times it was education. Attractive men often have a roster of FWBs for casual sex before they find the one. OP says, so you're saying it could be because he doesn't think I'm attractive enough to put more effort in. That's not what the man said. For OP, it just goes back to looks. It goes back to attraction. OP, man, your confidence, girl. Come on, OP. No, man. Gosh. OP, you need to get this together. Whether you need to go to the gym, get a nice hairstyle, wear makeup, change your wardrobe, something. You need some confidence, OP, because that is not what this commenter said. And OP just said, so what you're saying, it could be because he doesn't think I'm attractive enough to put more effort. No. People love people for different things. Yeah, there's something that you have to be attracted to, but it could be the mind. OP did said education. There are different things that he looks for within a wife or somebody that he wanted to date long term until he found that he didn't really settle down. But there's more to offer than attraction, OP. There's more than the looks. Oh gosh, somebody just beat a little confidence out of you. I would really want to know OP's backstory. Someone that says, I'd say communicate with him, but you said you're fine with casual and then proceeds to explain exactly why you're not fine with casual. OP says, there's casual relationships where the guy and girl still go out and do things together. IDK, maybe my definition of casual is different than other people's. Somebody else says, okay, so tell him that you want that. His reaction should be pretty evident where you stand. OP said, you're right, I'll ask him. OP, you know what? Go with God, Christy. Go with God. Alright, so this last story comes from the subreddit r/comfort level pod. And this one says, am I the a-hole for refusing to keep paying my ex's bills after she cheated on me with an unemployed guy? She sounds less than smart. But let's read. I was with this woman for 11 years. We weren't married, but we lived together and I basically supported her for most of the time. I am not wealthy or anything, but I make decent money and I didn't mind taking care of things. I paid most of the bills, covered the rent on our place, made sure she could get her hair and nails done regularly, took her on dates every weekend, and we went on trips a couple times a year. She had a pretty comfortable life and I was happy to provide that because I thought we were building something together. Then I found out she was cheating on me, and not even with someone who had anything going on. Like, this dude was completely unemployed and had nothing. She never admitted to it, but I caught on, and once I made it clear I knew and I was done, that's when things got really wild. She told me that since I had family nearby and she didn't, that I should be the one to move out, but also I should keep paying all the bills so that her and this new guy could have a chance to get on their feet. She actually said those words to me. She wanted me to fund her new relationship with the guy she cheated on me with. Oh, and she always also wanted to keep my dogs. Said I could see them if I asked the new guy for permission first. But since neither of them had money, I would obviously need to keep paying for the food and vet visits. OP, this story sounds fake because no one has that much audacity. Nobody has that much audacity, OP. So this, let me continue to read. Okay? I told her absolutely not and kicked her out. I told her absolutely not and kicked her out instead. Kept my dogs, obviously. She claimed that I forced her to quit her job because she had to relocate because of me and tried to sue me for lost wages. That went nowhere. Then she contacted my employer and threatened to sue them, saying that their employees' action cost her everything and demanded that they settle with her for some insane amount of money. My work ended up filing harassment charges against her. After that, she started messaging every single family member of mine she could find online. Then told them I ruined her life out of spite just because she moved on with someone else. Asked them to send her money to help her get a place. When that didn't work, she went on social media and starting a whole thing asking strangers to send her money to her Cash App, claiming it was a domestic violence situation, which is obviously was not. I genuinely do not understand how she doesn't get that any financial support from me was tied to us being in a relationship and that cheating ends that deal. We weren't married. We don't have kids together. I supported her for years and she threw it away. I don't owe her anything, and I definitely don't owe it to her to help her and her new broke boyfriend establish their life together. But the way she's acting, you would think I committed some kind of crime by cutting her off. Am I the a-hole for not continuing to pay her after she cheated? Sir, why you come to Reddit trying to waste our time? You're trying to waste our time because you know good and well you are not the a-hole, okay? So you probably should have chosen the True Off My Chest subreddit if you just wanted to tell us the story, right? But don't come and ask us, am I the a-hole if, because I cut somebody off that cheated, and I don't want to continue paying her bills. Of course we're going to say you're not, okay? Because that's just a dumb question, okay? And then you and this lady have been together for 11 years and you're never married to her. You would have seen some red flags. Either you guys decided that you were never going to get married, marriage is not your thing, but you did not say, okay? You didn't say that one, right? You just said you were together for 11 years. So there's something. There has to be something why you didn't marry her, okay? You saw some flag, okay? So that's one. Two, she upped and moved with you to some place without like a marriage agreement, nothing, knowing good and well that if you guys broke up, she got nothing for 11 years. She wasn't working, okay? So now that you're left, she's not even obligated like a spousal support or anything. Just 11 years down the drain. I mean, granted, she cheated, okay? Yes. Before you cheat with somebody, just break up, okay? Cheating is not, no. Just leave the person instead of cheating, okay? However, you said she cheated on with a broke man. How that makes sense? Well, let me see what the comments have to say. Not the a-hole. Just keep screenshots of everything. Talk to a lawyer about what you need and what can be done. The false accusations of DV could hurt you if not shut down. Use the law to help. Someone else says the DV accusation changes everything from a breakup to a legal self-defense. The entitlement is insane, but it's a lawyer's problem now, not his. Somebody else said, definitely, need to document everything, even reaching out to your family members that she contacted. I would be talking to your lawyer about the DV accusations. Sometimes that serious could affect your employment or even future employment if you were to ever leave your job. Not the a-hole. She cheated and has been coasting off of you for way too long. Her gravity train has, or gravy, what? Not girl, her gravy train has dried up and she is flipping out. Yeah. So yeah. Homegirl sound like a piece of work to the fact that she even contacted his employer. Listen, homegirl don't like work. She just wants to stay home and look pretty. You pay for her nails, her hair. She just wants to be a fabulous housewife. No kids, nothing. Just be fabulous and cheated. Yeah, girl. That is insane behavior. Oh, Lord. All right, that is it for today's video. If you have enjoyed it and you have made it to the end, leave a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.